mechanics. I think last year, or maybe not last year, 2 years ago, we saw Livin playing the Fire Mage actually at BlizzCon with great success. I mean, it's changed a little bit since then. The Dragon's Breath, of course, one of the signature abilities, does play, but it actually looks like he's going to start out as Frost. This is a little upsetting, yeah.
Lame.
I mean, Elemental Mage, still a new composition, so we can't complain too much, but I'd love to have seen the Fire.
Yeah, Leaxy's going to be playing his comfort spec here. Thasia in stealth, looking for an opening sap, but I think they want to wait for Leaxy to come out. Sap on Zeepai, interesting. It doesn't look like they're going to start anything just yet. Leaxy and Zeepai are trying to find their targets. Will Thasia see him? He doesn't see him. Goes for another sap. So Zeepai will be free from polymorphs if they decide to open to see if he's able to stop any CC because of that. Fnobber's already getting an early bash. This is terrible for the Rogue Mage Druid. They've eaten so much crowd control, and Ball Jugglers are taking an immediate lead in this opener.
Yeah, Thessia, he just got a little bit too close to Fnubbers, and Fnubbers snuffed him out with that, but they do get the Deep Sheep. They're going to set up onto Zeepai. Is he going to trade out the Shamrage? Trinket and Shamrage use, and the Aura Mastery to spam out those heals. The Grounding Totem able to deny any further CC onto Fnubbers, so well played by Bull Jugglers, able to stop that CC chain, but Zeepai used every single defensive cooldown that he has on that swap.
Yeah, he definitely respected Thasia's potential damage there, but because he overused cooldowns, it's an opening. So let's see if the Yacht Boys can punish that. Thasia not able to connect just yet, kind of just getting controlled. Fnobber's deciding to Trinket out of that blind, so now with no Trinket on either Zeepai or Fnobbers, the Yacht Boys have an opening. They just need to take it. Gelu is in CC, and they've actually locked Thasia into a capacitor totem. They're bursting him down pretty quickly. Actually had to trade out his Cloak of Shadows, so Thasia is going to be an opening target now for Ball Jugglers.
Yeah, I know one of the things Ball Jugglers like to do is just use maybe one Deep Freeze or maybe one Lockout onto the healer and just burst in it. They don't even go for the sheep often, and that was that setup. They got the Lockout onto Miley, and the Capacitor stun excellently landed by Zeepai, but now we see the Yacht Boys going offensive again. Looks like Leaxy is the target of choice on this one, but not really any damage coming out. He's doing a great job of peeling himself. Zeepai hasn't even had to heal yet. The Groat followed up. Now they connect. The DFA lands. The same time, Gelu Baba dropping low, gets the NS from Miley, so that's another cooldown out the way for Bull Jugglers, able to push out their damage, and they don't even have to trade the block on the Yacht Boys.
Yep, Miley's just going to use his Iron Bark instead, make sure that Gelu's completely safe. We see a Smoke Bomb from Thasia, so he's trying to catch Leaxy, but they don't really get anything, so the Smoke Bomb is going to be used with no payout. Now the Ball Jugglers don't need to worry about that. Zeepai can use his Trinket offensively if he wants to, at least for another 3 minutes. They've got Zeepai stuck in a bash. It looks like they want to start a CC chain, but they're just not able to go for it. Gelu goes in for the Deep Freeze, but I guess he didn't have Ring of Frost available, and the Yacht Boys get shut down on that attack. Really well done by the Ball Jugglers. Now they need to start tossing out some damage.
Yeah, I really like how Bull Jugglers are playing that. Of course, we did talk about that Smoke Bomb briefly. I think Fnobbers actually managed to clone Gelu Baba on that, and Bull Jugglers just look completely content. Fnobbers is sitting quite far back, as is Zeepai. They're making it really hard for them to get swaps, and whenever the Yacht Boys come in, they get dropped, especially Thessia has been taking a brunt of this damage. Fnobbers, one thing I really like about what he's doing is it's very easy when you're playing the Shaman Druid comps to kind of sit in bear form and rely on your Shaman to try win share the Rov and just avoid CC. But he's instead pushing for those Cyclones. He's getting the interrupts out of the way, which means Bull Jugglers can do maximum damage. We see Gelu Baba in the middle of the map just trying to build up some Icicles. Another Deep Freeze there was stopped on the side of the Yacht Boys, so another setup kind of thwarted by Bull Jugglers. Well played by them again. We see the blind. It's going to be trinketed. The Iron Back onto Leaxy. Not too much to come of this.
Yeah, but they're swapping to Zeepai. They're trying to get a 2-for-1 on cooldowns. They're just not able to. Leaxy's doing a good job peeling Thasia. He's got him caught into a polymorph. Now a full clone out from Fnobbers. Good control by the Ball Jugglers throughout this entire match. They're looking very tanky. We see a Deep Freeze on Miley. Can they follow that up? They do not follow it up with any CC. Gelu's in a great spot to avoid damage. He's going to be completely fine as they begin an attack over onto Leaxy. They need to get CC, but Zeepai is just a shutdown master. You cannot get past this guy. If I was playing hockey, I want him as goalie.
Yeah, I completely agree. Zeepai is definitely something very safe to place in front of your Druid. Fnobbers is going to be very happy with that. I think Miley actually managed to get a drink there. He actually managed to get 2 drinks, and the damage onto Gelu is going to force 1 block. But one of the things we were talking about is how much damage Elemental Mage does. And if Miley ooms, that's one way they can definitely lose this game. A win condition for Bull Jugglers, definitely. But if he keeps getting these drinks, they do trade a block there. 1 block down for both sides. Now pretty even. The trinket also down for Fnobbers due to the blind. But another setup. They get the Cyclone. This could actually be a second block from Lixi.
Yeah, it could easily be. The Death from Above will connect. At least he needs to be careful trading out that Ice Block. It will be his final one for about 2 minutes. So the Yacht Boys are getting ahead, getting the cooldowns that they need. And the next attack could easily be the end of the game. They need to make sure that they execute this properly. Looks like they're trying to pressure Miley. They're trying to get him out of there so he can't go for any Cyclones. But he's able to just stay in there. Now finally blinking away. So the Ball Jugglers, they need to create space. They need to get Lixi away from the fight because here comes the attack. Will they be able to follow it up with any CC? Zeepai stops it, but they do get the follow-up. They've overlapped CC, and they don't follow it up with any damage. Lixi's just running around the pillar, and with that overlap of crowd control, the Yacht Boys threw away a perfect opportunity to win.
Yeah, I want to give credit to Thessia on that go because he did such a good job. He did the cheap shot onto 3 players, and then he recognized his team wasn't going to be able to follow up the CC, so he did the kidney also onto Fnobbers, but then they end up overlapping it, so a huge misplay on the side of the Yacht Boys, and it means that the Jugglers can be offensive, but at the same time, the trinket from Fnobbers barely saving Lixi. The smoke bomb, is it going to be enough? He used NS, he used Iron Buck, so many cooldowns traded out on the side of Jugglers. A small overlap again from the Yacht Boys, overlapping that blind with the bash might have cost them the kill, but Lixi's still not out the woods yet. Fnobbers has nothing to save him. If they land the next CC, they could win this one.
Yep, Lixi is still in trouble. He needs to be very careful right now. Fnobbers is doing a good job controlling Thasia. He might have wanted to trinket this. He does end up trinketing right at the end and gives Miley a quick heart attack with how low he got, but now he's going in for the attack. If they nail this crowd control, they should be able to take the match. They've got Zeepai locked down. They've got Fnobbers locked down. This is looking like a win for the Yacht Boys. Lixi deep freezes Miley. He's trying to deny any Cyclones. They need to get Fnobbers out of CC. They need to stop this clone. Miley goes for an Aura Mastery clone. He lands it. Thasia looking for the kill onto Lixi. Zeepai needs to throw out some off heals here. Drops down that healing stream totem, but that's not enough. You've got to start healing. Healing surge after healing surge. Someone needs to stop him. They've got the polymorph, but now Fnobbers isn't in crowd control, and the Ball Jugglers are going to keep staying alive.
Yep, well executed by the Yacht Boys once again. We saw Miley Zor pop that bark skin. He's playing the Aura Mastery glyph, so he was able to avoid interrupts from Zeepai and cast that Cyclone. Excellent job by him, and a nice glyph adaptation for this particular matchup, but they don't get the kill, and now their skin is down, and Gelu Baba dropping so low. Is he going to fall here? It doesn't look like it. The Iron Buck just about enough. The killing spree from Thessia. This could be the game. No, 3 seconds! 2 seconds, he goes down. His snap was up in 1 second, so close to getting that cooldown back.
Wow. I'm wondering if he was looking at the cooldown like, it's up pretty soon. I'm going to try and do something. And, oh no, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, please come up. And it just wasn't like Walrix needs to come out. They could break Walrix out.
I agree.
I'm happy either way.
They could bring out the fire as well, like you say. CC was the problem. Dragon's Breath could be the answer. Dragon's Breath is an excellent way of AoE controlling the team and maybe getting the sheep. Is he going over to it? It looks like he's sticking with the Frost, so maybe they feel like they were a little unlucky that game. They did play the game excellently defensively, in my opinion. They didn't make any mistakes with overlaps. They stopped a lot of the goes from the Yacht Boys, and they were really close to getting that block back.
Yeah, Ball Jugglers playing a good defense game, and we've seen that a lot, even in the North American tournaments, that teams play defensively very well, but they don't know how to get kills. And knowing when you have an opportunity to win or knowing how to find it is so important, or you just can't win the game. So Ball Jugglers are going to have to find their way through this because the Yacht Boys looked so dominant in that last game.
Yeah, and it's just difficult to say how Ball Jugglers win this. I mean, one win condition is ooming Miley. And maybe that's what they're thinking. On this smaller map, they can stop the drinks because Miley got 2 brilliant drinks. So we do see the sap onto Fnobbers now. They're going to open up onto Zeepai once more. Maybe they'll try to get the Trinket Rage once more. He's actually going to hold onto it. Maybe the swap over onto Lixi. I'm not too sure. They do get the Sham Rage now, but Lixi is able to hold onto his Trinket in this opener. So overall, the opener is slightly better for Ball Jugglers. Is he going to sit this blind, though?
It looks like he's trying to. He doesn't want to overlap with Zeepai's defensive cooldown. So that was a good read by Fnobbers. Usually the rest of the Druids, they just trinket blind right away. It's the longest instant crowd control, and it's just an effective way to use your trinket. But in that situation, he didn't really need to, so he was able to get away with it. A nice read by Fnobbers. They're trying to set up a kill on Thasia. They got him caught in the bash. He trinkets out. He's not cloaking, barely getting his cloak off at 20% HP. And it actually looks like they've been pressuring Miley at the beginning of the game. Zeepai was chucking damage out at Miley, and I'm wondering if they're going to go for a triple damage strategy and just attack all the members on Yacht Boys and not even look for any crowd control. That could be an option.
Yeah, and this is the thing. If Lixi can build up good damage with his Icicles, then he can just throw it at Miley whenever he comes in and try to stop as many Cyclones as possible. We do see the Deep Freeze. I don't think the Roth was able to land, so I'm not sure entirely who stopped that, but an excellent job by Ball Jugglers anyways. We do see the Gouge to follow it up, though. Can they get the DR Kidney? They need to follow it up with a Sheep or a Clone if they can. The NS and the Iron Buck traded out onto Lixi, so they do force a few minor cooldowns on the side of Ball Jugglers, but again, you have to credit their defensive play. They stopped the CC on Fnobbers. Thessia was able to kind of adapt to the situation and be like, okay, I need to continue this chain. The gouge followed up by the DR kidney, but it wasn't enough to force a significant cooldown.
You know, the jugglers, they're trying to make a push, but against this rogue mage druid composition, if you run into their territory, if they push in behind this box, they risk getting isolated. So they're very reluctant to do that. And Zeepai's finally moving in with his team, and it seems like they're actually still attacking Miley. But the Yacht boys, they've baited them in. They're looking to try and get some damage. Zeepai shuts it down again. He's just an amazing crowd control goalie. He stops everything. He's doing a great job. We can see Fnobber should be able to easily heal to his damage now as a result. A deep freeze on Miley. No CC to follow it up. He actually did end up following it up, but it was DR'd. So they're not really going to get too much out from the Yacht boys. And I mean, they haven't got anything out of Jugglers now at this point either. It's still kind of just even. Unless Zeepai gets a really lucky string of lava bursts, this game's definitely going to go on for some time.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's kind of what Bull Jugglers want. They want this game to go on for a long time. They haven't had to use any significant defensives, not even using the trinket on the blind. So they're definitely doing kind of what their game plan is right now. We see the gouge. They're going to look to set up here. The blind's back up. He should trinket this one. Trinket, no Iron Bark available. Oh, he does have it, but he's going to try hold on to it. The deep freeze. Can they follow it up? The deep from Leaksy. Excellent job by him. Recognizing Gelu, blinked in to get that deep and just answering it with his own deep freeze. And he's not really looking for CC on Miley anyway, so he doesn't lose too much from that exchange. We see the Cyclone onto Thessia now, just shutting down the game. I think they must be playing for dampening because Miley will struggle a lot with the burst coming out of Bull Jugglers as we get later into the game.
Ooh, Thasia getting bursted down. He's kind of in the middle of the map, so Miley needs to be aware of this if Thasia wants to keep this aggressive position. It looks like he wants to move in. He's kind of reluctant, now getting polymorphed by Leaksy. Leaksy trying to shut him down from pushing in. Doing a good job so far here. The Killing Spree got Earthquake stunned. So Zeepai preemptively having that Earthquake on the ground completely shut down Thasia's damage. So Thasia's just never lucky, and now he's kind of forced to retreat. She's going to shadow step back defensively. And again, the Yacht boys are trying to bait Jugglers behind the pillar. If they can isolate them with line of sight, they don't even need to land crowd control. So the Jugglers, they have to make the decision to push in. It looks like they're just going to go after Miley and stop him from drinking. I think that's the smart move. Jugglers are definitely playing this game to stall it out and try and Miley.
Yep, and we talked about our last game. Their main win condition is trying to Miley. They actually land a sheep on Tim. I'm not sure if that was the deep sheep. Leaksy Stars is deep available, so it looks like that sheep just came out of nothing. Nice play from him, nice recognizing. And now we see the bash. The deep freeze has to be trinketed by Miley. They get that cooldown. The Iron Bark, there's cloak available for Thessia. He's not going to want to use that now. But Gelu dropping so low, having to trade out that ice block. They get the Cyclone onto Miley, and suddenly Bull Jugglers out of nowhere have endless momentum. They're getting the CC, they're getting cooldowns on the Yacht boys, and this is going to set them so far behind.
Yeah, it's looking actually very well for the Juggler team. Fnobber's caught in a bash. Gelu not able to get any follow-up, once again getting shut down by Zeepai. And as long as Zeepai's on top of this shutdown, they're going to stay out of CC. They're going to keep getting pressure. And with that pressure, inevitably, they're going to get a kill. Thasia was actually forced to close. Gelu not blocking down at 5% HP. Barely uses that ice block in time to stay alive. And now no ice blocks, no Cloak of Shadows. The Yacht boys have to be afraid.
Yeah, they have nothing, and they overlap the NS there as well, so a small mistake means they have literally no cooldowns left for the next push from the Jugglers. The thing is, though, it is quite difficult to push as Elemental Mage. We've talked about it a little bit, that they have a hard time landing CC on Miley. Will they be able to land a hit the sheep? But unfortunately, the Earthquake from Zeepai is going to break that very quickly. A small lapse there by Bull Jugglers. One of the problems of the Elemental, of course, is that he provides a lot of AoE, but Gelu's taking so much damage at the same time. They actually blind up Leaksy defensively. He's going to trinket out of that one. I'm not sure if that was the best use of blinds, but they clearly felt that they were threatened significantly enough. They won't be able to follow up the CC onto Fnobbers. They do force the Shamrage, and they delayed the Jugglers, ending the game for now.
I don't really like that blind usage from Thasia. I guess he wanted to make sure he didn't get crowd controlled on his damage, but Leaksy just trinketed it, and that's really efficient for Leaksy, and now Fnobbers doesn't have to worry about it. Gelu still with no blocks for another minute. He's definitely an opening. Thasia with no cloak for 19 seconds. He's an opening. Miley with no trinket should allow them to get something done here. Jugglers just need to pull the trigger. It looks like they're pulling into the center of the map. They want to bash him out of that clone, but he preemptively smoke bombs, and that smoke bomb will line of sight any damage out from the Jugglers. Good read by Thasia.
But at the same time, Miley's, because of that play, able to sit down for a little drink. He doesn't get too much, but he pretty much catches up to Miley. He's at about 30%. We see Dampening has kicked in that little debuff at the top, 12% less healing on both sides. So Miley's probably going to be feeling that one a little bit more than Fnobbers, especially since Jugglers are pushing in right now. The preemptive Iron Bark on the deep freeze, but they're not going to even go for follow-up on that. They might even go for damage on Miley. Gelu dropping low. He does doesn't have an ice block available for 40 seconds. It looks like he's going to be okay with the Iron Bark, so a nice play from Miley there. He actually bark skins to try to get this Cyclone. Leaksy in a bit of trouble, has to trade out his first ice block, but Miley doesn't have his skin available. I think I'd love to see them try and hit him now.
Yeah, swapping around from the Jugglers could be a good opportunity for them. They've got Fnobber still in some CC. It looks like they want to commit a kill here on Leaksy. Do they have any damage? That's what they need to be able to follow this up. No more CC on Fnobbers, and they shouldn't be able to kill him here, I don't think. Fnobbers is just spamming the heals, but he gets caught in a sheep. Really good read by Gelu, catching Fnobbers on that global cooldown, and now Zeepai forced to heal his partner. He's just casting these healing surges, trying to keep him alive and keep him going. He's doing a good job. Fnobbers now finally leaving CC, looking for CC of his own. He will end up cycloning Thasia. That will deny any heal over times, and if they can bash him out of that clone, they go for the bash. Thasia reads that instantly and will trinket and trade out some cooldowns to make sure that he doesn't get blown up.
Yeah, but at the same time, using those cooldowns is allowing Miley to drink once again, and this was the major win condition. He's at 76% mana. That's a huge increase from Miley. He uses the NS to stop Gelu Baba dying, who also has an ice block, so the Yacht boys are stabilizing. One of the things I really like about this team is they're not just all gas pedal. If they don't get the kill quickly, they lose. They're such a good sustained team. Miley does such a good job of keeping his team alive, and now they have the defensive cooldowns, they have Cloak, they have Block, they have Miley's Trinket, and they have the mana to play this dampening game. We're at 22%, and the double Rov comes out, Leaksy in trouble.
He needs to block, trades out his ice block. This will be a good trade, but the Yacht boys are looking more solid. It was kind of looking scarier in the earlier parts of this game, but now that they have some cooldowns coming up, they should feel confident pushing in now to finish the job. Miley is kind of just getting right on top of them. He's trying to get a Cyclone, I think, here. Maybe not going for it just yet. Wants to make sure his team is safe. Leaksy down to half HP, but with no CC on Fnobbers, he should be able to deal with this pressure pretty easily. Deep Freeze on Miley. Leaksy looking for a sheep. Connects that full Polymorph, and this could be an ice block out from Gelu. Unfortunately, the Thunderstorm, I believe, ended up breaking that on Miley, so Zeepai's kind of AoE on the Elemental Shaman is not proving to be too favorable.
Yep, small overlap on the side of the Yacht boys there. We see Thessia trading out Cloak, also overlapped with the Iron Bark from Miley, but they that might actually set up an opportunity. He doesn't have a trinket available for 30 seconds. If they can land a bash onto Thessia, they might be able to just blow him up with damage. Gelu Baba taking a lot of damage now as well. He pushes in for the Deep Freeze. He will land that Ring of Frost. The preemptive Iron Bark from Fnobbers should be enough for Leaksy to survive, but he doesn't have any blocks, and it is dampening. He's down to 10%. Is he just going to fall? The Smoke Bomb comes out late. The Iron Bark was not enough. Leaksy falls, and 2-0 to the Yacht boys, despite a pretty good game out from Bull Jugglers once again.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I feel like Ball Jugglers need to go for an open map. Even Shadow Priest maybe are sometimes rusty as well, so that might be another factor for why they don't want to sub the Shadow Priest in. But either way, the Yacht boys are up 2-0 right now. They're one win away from advancing, and here we are, Runes of Lordaeron. So the Ball Jugglers have decided for an open field. It is time to blow something up.
And again, the Frost Mage, disappointment all around. No booze though. Leaksy, an incredibly talented Frost Mage. He's actually running all the way back into the room, going to get that invis off. I like that. He kind of committed forward, so the Yacht boys thought we can just take this slowly. He's not going for the invis. He runs all the way back to make sure he gets the safe invis, just min-maxing that opener a little bit. So he should, actually his stealth should run out after Gelu's. So nicely played by him. They're not going to get the sap because of that, most likely. They do get the snap onto Fnobbers. He's choosing to pre-hot instead of avoid that. They get the Sham Rage from Zeepai, so a similar opener to last time.
Yep, the Yacht boys trading out and getting that Shamanistic Rage, a pretty standard start. The next cooldown they're looking for is Fnobber's Trinket, and they're trying to get it with the blind. He's trying to be greedy, but they make a swap onto Leaksy. Leaksy on the run, blazing speeding, out of line of sight, is avoiding quite a bit of damage as a result. But Thasia's keeping the CC chain going with a silence, and it doesn't look like they have any follow-up though, so Leaksy should be completely fine now. Leaksy looking to build up some damage. He's getting a lot of Frost Bolts off right now, so he will have some Icicles later to burst somebody down. Looks like they're trying to attack Gelu, but Gelu's already fully hotted. He's going to be fine. And you know, the Ball Jugglers, they're playing this damage-based composition, and if Zeepai isn't getting lucky with Lava Burst procs, it's going to be very hard for them to get a kill. Yeah,
that's the thing. I mean, it's kind of a slot machine. I've seen that term used for Elemental Shamans. It's kind of less like that now. They get a nice capacitor stun onto Thessia. They're not really able to make too much damage happen with that though. Miley's just completely happy to sit by that side pillar. He doesn't want to be too close to the Bull Jugglers because he knows how much they really want to get damage onto him. But now that they go offensive, he's going to look for it. He gets the bash onto Zeepai. That's going to be trinketed, and the wind shear onto the Rov means that they deny the CC. So Zeepai, recognizing the situation, perfectly responding to it. He's going to get sheeped up for his troubles. Not too much damage able to come out from him as Gelu Baba taking some damage. Iron Bark traded out, and nothing really happening.
Yeah, Miley should be able to heal through the damage pretty easily, and the ball jugglers, like Elemental Shaman, Resto Druid, is a very turtle-based combination, no matter what you have on your team. So it's very tanky. Unless the Yacht boys coordinate very well, it can be very hard to get a kill. Looks like they're leading in with an attack. Fnaber's caught in a deep freeze. This is the crowd control that the Yacht boys need. They're following up with damage with that killing spree now on Leaksy, but it didn't actually result in too much burst. Gelu was trying to follow up with some, but still not nearly as much damage as I expected. We see the smoke bomb now coming out from Thasia. They're trying to get something, but they don't get anything. I'm wondering, I feel like the damage was kind of dropped, and the Yacht boys missed a huge opportunity to get some big cooldowns.
Yeah, potentially. There could have been at least a block from Leaksy if they maybe executed it a little different, but now they're getting punished. And Baba, he's dropped so low. I'm not sure why there was so much delay on this block, but he maybe even didn't have to use it. They overlap it with the NS regardless. I think trading that block was perfectly reasonable there. They'd use the blind onto Fnaber's. They're going to trade it over. Damage onto Leaksy. He gets locked on Poly. That's going to put him into the full kidney shot. The sap to follow up the blind. Well played by Thesia, CCing 2 members, but at the same time, Zipa is just free. They're not going to be able to follow up the CC further. The NS comes out onto Fnaber's, and again, they hold on to the ice block.
Yep, Leaksy is slightly ahead now in this matchup. Zipai got very lucky with those lava burst strings, and if he gets lucky again like that, it could just be Gelu's life. Thasia caught into a bash. I like these plays from Fnaber's. He always sets up these bashes out of clones and tries to punish Thasia for going out into the middle of the map, but unfortunately, Miley preemptively shadow melded and was able to avoid any potential CC. It looks like they're swapping onto Fnaber's, and he immediately trades his bark skin. It was a bit of a predictive move. Leaksy was able to stop the damage, so Fnaber's will not have Barkskin if they make another swap later. Definitely look to see if the Yacht boys are going to do that, but for right now, they're trying to get behind this tombstone. Zipai moving in to chuck out some burst. 2 big crits onto Gelu. Miley should be able to heal through it, though, with no CC onto himself. Decides to trade out that Nature Swiftness, still not even topping him. They do make the swap over onto Fnaber's, and Fnaber's might be disrespecting the swap. He trinkets very late and could easily just go down. He blinks back away, trying to get out of line of sight. Gelu pursues after, Thasia pursues after, and they might just kill him through this with raw damage. The gouge to try and prevent any incoming healing. Fnaber's will trade out his Iron Bark now used. That will prevent the kill, but Fnaber's had to use a lot of cooldowns. So
close through the trinket there, I agree. He does have his NS back, but he still doesn't have Bark Skin for 5 seconds. They could look for another one of these swaps. Cyclone onto Thesia, they're swapping it over onto Miley, and Miley is taking a lot of damage for that Iron Bark. He retreats all the way back into the room, and Leaksy he was aiming for a zoning rub there to make sure he couldn't get back to his team. Wasn't able to land it though, unfortunately. They draw it out. Fnaber's now the target of choice once more for the Yacht boys. I feel like they've pick their target and they seem committed to sit here. They do get the bark skin. He's not going to have bark skin or trinket for the next go, and that could potentially set up a kill window for the Yacht boys.
Yeah, Leaksy and Zipai, they need to be on their AE game for peeling and healing to keep Fnaber's alive. Fnaber's needs to stay very far away from the fight. He's too close in my opinion right here. He may want to just go back into the room. I guess he wants to stay next to Zipai, but he is very open to dying here. You can see he's just in bear form. He's ready for this. So unless Thasia can catch him, it looks like they're swapping to Miley. They're trying to get a surprise swap onto the other Resto Druid now as well, and Miley had to trade out his bark skin and blink back to the tombstone. He should be able to recover now. Thasia looking for a kill here. He's got that adrenaline rush. He Cloak of Shadows aggressively onto Fnaber's. They want to finish him here and now. Somebody needs to save him. Smoke Bomb gets dropped, but there's just nothing to protect them. Fnaber's down to 14%. He's on the run, but Thasia's looking to kill him. Down to 10% HP remaining. Fnaber's barely stays alive. Really well done. Leaksy and Zipai were able to provide some support throughout that attack, but Fnaber's, man, that was a close call. I would be so scared right now.
Yeah, he played that so well. I mean, of course, he pressed every button he had left because he was so low, but he shadow melded, and then after the shadow meld, he also restuffed, so he was able to crawl around and prowl during that growth for a second. If he hadn't done that, he may well have gone down there. Gelu was closing in probably with that second Ice Nova. It came up just after the NS, so Fnaber's playing clutch, with the clutch plays showing up huge for the Bull Jugglers, who are one game away from being eliminated from this entire Qualifier Cup. Miley taking a bit of damage now. His mana is low. One of the big things Bull Jugglers have on this map is the fact that he can't really go for drinks. It's quite difficult to get away from the fight. He's down to 15%, and dampening's only just starting to kick in.
Yep, definitely Miley's mana could be an issue. We see Fnaber's being greedy, not trinketing the blind. I guess he expects that they're going to swap, so he wants to make sure that he has his trinket to survive. But it looks like they're holding their damage. I think that Fnaber's read that situation very well, and they're going to get away with not trinketing. So really well done. The Ball Jugglers have an opening now, and they actually forced Gelu to block. So with only one more ice block remaining, the Yacht boys are going to fall behind.
Yeah, at the same time, though, I don't like the fact that Bull Jugglers saddled that, because it just allowed Miley to drink. The fact that they were so They were just all locked up there. It meant that he could just happily sit down. They do trade out a block for it, so that's true. That's something going for Bull Jugglers. But they've been working so hard for the last 7-8 minutes to get him Moom, and now he's got 56% mana, but at the same time, he doesn't have more than 56% HP. The Bark Skin coming out to answer that defreeze. They almost blow him up in the 3 seconds that he's frozen. It looks like he should be able to top himself off. He's sitting in bear form, going to that side cart. Will be able to top himself here. Lixie chasing him with those Icy Veins, of course, the major offensive cooldown for the mage. Lots of haste there, trying to chuck out as much damage as possible. Gelu also taking the brunt of it. He used one of his ice blocks. The NS traded for Miley as well. They aren't able to force that second one. They're going back to Fnobbers.
Yeah, Fnobbers caught in a kidney shot right now and down to about half HP. He needs help, but he's just not getting it, and he could easily just go down. He trinkets out of a Garrote Silence to try and do anything, but it's not enough, and I feel like he should have trinketed the kidney shot right away instead of Bark Skinning. He had no support. Zeepai was in CC, Elixir got locked out, there was no support, no help, and against a combat rogue, they just do so much damage, and Bark Skin by itself isn't enough, so Fnobbers maybe not reading the situation completely. Again, he doesn't want to overlap cooldowns either, so he kind of wanted to see if it was enough, but it wasn't, and the Yacht boys are going to take the series 3-0 and advance and eliminate Jugglers from the tournament.
Yeah, we can just have a quick look at the damage here. Zeepai, 8.1 million, significantly more than anyone else on the map. Lixie, of course, did 2 million or so more than Gelu, so they've got the damage, and it's just, they can't really do anything with it. Like you say, Miley, completely happy to sit back. They used a lot of deep freezes defensively this game. They never have any CC for him, the Druid. Completely fine, sitting back, healing through that damage. No real problem on that side cart. A 3-0 for the Yacht boys. They're looking strong.